afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another amazing Propagandacaster with me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Psych Defender of the Fatherland. Off yet an exciting 2 versus 2 on Eindhoven Country. In the north, we got CPU-Easy and Havok fighting here for the German army, Deutschland, Reich. Tasked with holding this vital area against the Russian onslaught. Elements here of the 1st Panzer Division have been moved into counterattack push out, allowing for an infantry division to move in and sort of secure the territory. In the south, we got Thoton and Fire and Terror fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin, and the 5th Mechanized Corps tasked with shattering the fascist lines and breaking onwards towards Berlin. We've got motor armored assault and advanced warfare. Basically, they are pretty much mirrored doctrinally and bulletin-wise. 2 T-35 bulletins, and all doctrines have T-35s. Thoton and Fire and Terror, I think, have sort of stumbled upon one thing about the Soviets. The T-35 works. CPU-Easy with the Jaeger Infantry, festering armor, lightning wall with panzer infantry mines, Havok here with joint operations, German Mechanized, and assault support with panzer infantry and panzer bulletins. So we got here conscript heavy start there from Fire and Terror, Thoton going for maxims and conscripts. As for the Germans, we got Grenadiers and MG-42, so they move out to secure vital tactical territory in service of das Reich. Die Dritte Reich. We got conscript moving right, engineers incurring a bit of territorial there, moving in to quickly seal off the fuel point in case Russian pushing for that one. Of course, here we got Thoton already digging in, but we got Havok looking to cause havoc for Germany. Those machine guns probably should have been waiting a bit before setting up there. I think he's missing up the opportunity there. In the southwest here, we sort of got a dancing about. They're both looking for the ones to appear, and then they sort of sit down here. Grenadiers on the way there for Havok. CPU-Easy is either paying a bit too much attention to the front line, or he's planning a sniper here versus the Russians, which versus a conscript build might not be super effective. Plus, in particular on the southern part here, where he's fighting currently, might not be super effective. Are they going to use quad conscript Grenadiers here with Pioneer Sport fighting out? Here we got the conscript moving up in the flank of the MG-42. It is more Grenadiers for CPU-Easy. Looks like he wasn't paying attention here. Conscript engines being taken out there, contributing heavy damage in the east here for the pressure here. We got the max out here for Thoton, preventing the machine gun from moving up further. The Grenadiers in the east are a bit on their own. It might be an idea for Havok to basically just break off these and sort of move towards the centre and back up his teammate here in the west versus Fire and Terror. Pioneers here, organizing with the conscript, of course, got the view about the engineers in the south as well. Grenadiers got number 2 around there for CPU-Easy. Havok there already going for more Grenadiers, and somebody so is CPU-Easy in the south here. Thoton is going for more conscripts now. Grenadiers are flanking the maximum, of course. The problem with the maximum is he can quickly deal with this as long as the enemy is not too close. There you go, pulling up his heavy cover. That's going to help a bit there for Havok, but he can't deal with the conscripts up close up with the maximum backing up. Here goes to finally pushed back. CPU-Easy and Fire and Terror still firing out here, and there you go. Final conscripts pushed back. CPU-Easy stands his ground, though he has suffered a bit for it. Fire and Terror there with 4 conscript squads. Thoton with still a bunch of conscripts and a maxim. Going for a second maxim there though. One from pressure arriving here. Pioneers being suppressed. And we got more skirmishing up here. Come this conscripts. MG-42 is being flanked by others. Conscripts in the west. Fire and Terror up against the Grenadiers here off CPU-Easy. And Grenadiers moving for the centre victory point. More to support the ones here to just quickly win the fight here. MG-4 setting up. And other points being secured. In this regard, the Germans do end up falling a bit behind on fuel here against the Russians. That could allow the Russians to sort of slightly push ahead here. MG-42 there with Grenadier support finally coming here. We got the machine gun moving up there to deal with the machine gun there. Down here, machine gun should be able to spot the Russian. There we go, stop the conscripts and engineers there with one fell burst. But no, the engineers managed to get avoid suppression. There go conscripts from the other side. Nice attack here by Fire and Terror, attacking across a wider angle, making it harder here for CPU-Easy's machine gun to stop it. And certainly CPU-Easy might want to consider another machine gun since there's a conscript here build. More machine guns really pay off. That he's going to have to rush out Panzer Grenadiers, because Panzer Grenadiers also tend to work well versus conscript heavy builds, in my opinion. In particular, they're an upgrade. But there you go, CPU-Easy responsive with the second machine gun. Havok there having lost ground, and overall the German front is collapsing here in the face of the Russians. Grenadiers pulling back there for reinforcement. Machine gun almost done. Knowing by both have checked up, but it's going to be Havok there getting down the like to Mechanized company first. So the Germans are likely going to lose the fuel point again. The maximum is certainly a bit of a problem for the German army. Of course, fast flame for a half take, awesome 2-2s can put a bit of a stop to that, and Thoton is already taking a hit there. Fire and Terror, by the way, committing to advanced warfare tactics. Not a doctrine you see a lot, but again, T-35 is good. Conscript with submachine guns are good, and I mean, if you can get your tanks repaired, they're also pretty solid. The Sturmovik attack is not amazing, but on the hand, radio intercept is a very potent ability. I mean, overall, a solid doctrine that does tend to get just, outshined here by Guard Motor, which just offers you guardsmen and heavy mortars, though the guardsmen are really the important part, alongside the T-35s and marked vehicles. It's a very strong doctrine in its own right. But nice to see Fire and Terror there coming to other things. CPU-Easy launching a larger assault about notice he's prepared for his opponent. Again, actually tries to flank ahead of time. Nice play there by CPU-Easy. First Panzer Division there not having the easiest times. Grenadiers with light machine guns here as Havok just lays down the law of the Third Reich, which involves machine guns. Pioneers are trying to flank the Maxim, but the Maxim is still pretty fast, pretty nimble, pretty swift, even while suppressed. But there you go, Pioneers managed to get into the shit and then flank the Maxim. Nice work there by Havok, and now we can see they're working together now to push for the west centre instead of just pushing each their own way separately. Nice play there. 2-2 on the way for Havok. And no like to make a nice company here for CPs. Of course, might be going to rush for tier 3 then. There's an option. Though I do think they should be careful about blobbing up all of their Grenadiers in the same spot. I mean, they're running to one Maxim, that's GG. But also, they could press a bit heavier, I think, across the map here, rather than just, one very specific direction. So, that's a little thought there. 2-2 around here for having the first Panzer Division, 5th Mechanized Corps, slightly battling under this, but so far nothing catastrophic here for the Red Army. Support company up here for Fire and Terror, going for a mortar, that way support his infantry assaults. Field gun for Thoton. Chain Commander can't get anything out right away. Fuel points and all that being grabbed. The Germans are now, can see that, making a much more aggressive sweeping push here against the Russian vermin. Also the south or the east here could still be opened up now to some harassment there. So there you go, Thoton's engineers with constant support. They're trying to hold up CPU's infantry. At this stage, a doctoral choice would not, I think, be a bad idea. I mean, CPUs, for example, could consider Jaeger Infantry for the G for the fleets, or Lightning War for the G for the fleets. I mean, a bunch of Grenadiers with G for the fleets right now could give Fire and Terror's conscripts a bit of a hard time. And there goes, going to be pushing for submachine guns soon. Rifle grenade off, they're landing nicely, almost wiping the entire unit. Now the rifle grenade off here, and there we go again. Machine gun, they're dealing with the country there. Fire and Terror, though, is still going to be spraying some fire and some terror now at the fascists with submachine guns and the flamethrowers. Also pushing on the north there, very good. The Germans have certainly managed to rally around here after the initial successful push of the Russians. Down here, troops in reinforcing. Fire and Terror, imagine, will be handing out more PPSH-41s for his men. And we got Jaeger Infantry for CPU-Easy. Ambush camouflage and machine guns also. Very good, excellent. It's a good upgrade there. Makes the MD-42s much more lethal, in particular as they gain more veterancy. And even upgraded Grenadiers can benefit a bunch from it. Of course, as long as they are upgraded with another weapon. Since the regular rifles they have do not benefit a lot from the ambush camouflage bonus, but the D-43s and the LMD-42 benefit heavily. So there you go, machine gun holding up against the Russian hordes. Mortar up here for Fire and Terror. We've got the field gun moving up, and these we've got the 2-2 moving up here as well. Germans are pushing hard. We've got a field cache up here for CPs for the longer fight. Very good. It certainly is looking like he's going to try and push for tier 3, in which case you should press it a bit harder. And I do think you should get out the Jaeger Command Squad alongside some upgrades for his Grenadiers. I mean, not upgrading your Grenadiers, but at least some of the G-43s I think is a bit of an oversight. Fuel cache in a very exposed position here by Thoton. That feels honestly a bit weird. Like, this would be a much better spot, whereas this one is, rather in the German line of fire. Or at least risks being it much more easily. So a thought there. Seizing points in there, you've got constant use moving up there. Submachine guns again here for Fire and Terror. As the war advanced, by the way, the Russians would increasingly equip their infantry with submachine guns to the point by 1944-45, roughly half of the Soviet infantry unit would have been equipped with submachine guns. Fun fact there. And medics on the way there. Take up 4th CPU, so he's going to try and push for a tier 3 rush. They really should consider adding the Jaeger Command Squad and, of course, upgrading more Grenadiers. Yeah. I mean, if you go for Jaeger Infantry, you want the Jaeger Command Squad. The Jaeger Command Squad is a 5-man squad, which for the Wehrmacht is huge. But more importantly, he's an upgraded one with basically ambush camouflage on top of it. He is really strong. Lost the Grenadier Squad there was rather awkwardly handled by CPU-Easy. Not entirely sure what he was hoping to achieve there. But yeah, Jaeger Command Squad really should be a priority. In the north here, Fire and Terror pushes back. Havok's advances, as we can see, there's also a bit from CPU-Easy. And Havok seems to be pushing towards the center, leaving by Havok now. That's the only one without a doctrine, without a doctrinal choice here. Artillery fire raining down, the field gun hammering away with the high explosive shells. Wiping out one machine gun crew. But engineer squad on the hand bites the dust in the process. Can this one taken out here as well? So yeah, CPUs they're building the Suprema Corps, very good, but really he needs more infantry. He needs the Jaeger command squad. And Havok there reclaims the machine gun from the potential filthy grasp of the rations. It's not filthy, it's just a bit dirty. 2-2 there, bar is still operable here for Havok, very nice. More deep flanking I think could work out. And if they can hit the fuel plant, of course, that'd be great for the Germans. So Paul McCarthy, and of course, the Russians will be aware of this. I imagine a Panther 4 CPU is going to try and push for here. We got, straight for the Mechanized Armoured Company, as Fine Terror's taking it as well. So he's going to push for a T-35 rush. That's going to be really nasty. T-35 rush is not something you see a lot, though, and really should be. It can be surprisingly potent, since again, if the Germans just go for what they normally do and go for a Panther 4, the T-35 is just going to trounce them. Does require some understanding of what your opponent's going to go for. In this case, they kind of have it. Like, they're pretty much just lining up and saying, we're going to go for T-34-85s. So CPU-Easy and Havok will be needing Stooks, and CPU-Easy should stop floating manpower and get out the Jaeger command squad. And these were the conscripts. Quick sprint away there. Very nice, very nice. Machine gun here defending the area down here, keeping the victory point out of the hands of the Russians. Thoton fine timing move for the centre in the east. Conscript moving up there into the 2-2 and the Gundisman going for the fuel point there. Very nice push here by Havok and CPU-Easy, coordinating elements to overwhelm the Russian defenders. In the centre, field gun and mortar there repulsing and collapsing Havok's central defence. Even his Gundis a bit out to hang, but they do manage to push back the maximum there. Nice work, and CPU-Easy finally goes to the Jaeger command squad. Way too bloody late, I would say. He used to benefit from that much sooner. I mean, for 300 manpower, you get an amazing deal with the Jaeger command squad. Amazing. MD4 to the defending victory point, very nice. Jaeger command squad apparently got called in the wrong spot. Needs to get moving to the front line. Schnell, schnell, mach, schnell. Los geht's. The South 2-2 overwhelming the eastern flank here. Fine Terror's mortar being overwhelmed here. Not like to get murdered. Maybe if you had 2-2-2s or some Panzer Grenadiers, you could have done it. And of course, Havok really would have benefited from some Panzer Grenadier, but we'll need to retreat those Grenadiers now before they get wiped. In fact, yeah, they went down here to the conscript with the submachine guns. Do not underestimate a horde of PPS 841 wielding conscripts. They can do some serious damage. While it may not be as popular a tactic as it used to be, it is still a potent tactic if you know how to use it. Jaeger command squad there finally moving into the front line, getting some kills done against the Bolsheviks. Support core there, he can get out some armor and really should be doing it faster, and he really should be spending some of that more manpower. I mean, I'd recommend other caches, but more Grenadiers at this stage would be doing really strongly. Maybe a bunker to help defend the area around here to make it harder for the Russians to harass it. He's got the manpower, he's got the munitions, so a machine gun bunker, I would say, position right about here could be a very good investment for CPU-Easy, truth be told. Quick rafting against the engineers here. Machine gun backing up. Panther on the way there for CPU-Easy. Very good, so good, so good. Fight for the southern fuel point here as Fine Terror and Thoton are slowly moving on it. But, one hell of a hit down the machine gun, wiping out them more or less in just a few hits. Bad development there for Havok. Machine gun there could easily seize them by the Russians. Great work though for the Russians, but amazing that they got an MD-42. Quick anti-tank grenade here against the 2-2, causing some heavy damage here in the centre. Germans moving up there. In the west, dug in here with maximum conscripts, though enough the Maximus just out in the open, no cover for that one. Panther 4 almost done for CPU-Easy, and Thoton is actually very close to the T-45. Panther 4 on the way for Havok as well. Fine Terror is going to be able to go for the T-45. No, actually. 2-2 down, smoke bombs down. We finally got a doctrine from Havok. It is Mechanized versus the oncoming onslaught of T-45s. I'm not entirely sure that's going to be best, though. Command tank, I think, is going to be crucial for them to have a chance, since if they can sort of do anything to just slightly increase their ability versus the T-45s, the command tank's it. I mean, that's going to help them soak up a bit more damage, but it's going to slightly equalize them with the T-45's just sheer amount of health compared with, Tier 3 German medium armor, which does not have that much health. And the closest you got is the Panther, which is Tier 4, notably more expensive. So unless one of them are rushed for, say, Tier 4 instead, I mean, this is going to be a bit ugly, in particular since, well, they only got one pack otherwise, and there you go. One T-45 out here now for Thoton and the 5th Mechanized Corps. Rolling out there for the Red Army. MD4 touring on the west side still, but now it's going to get victimized there by the T-45. Panzer IV moving up here. Pinman machines on the way there. Very good, very good. And there you go. Machine gun just needs to run. It stands no chance against the T-45. Other T-45 here, of course, now the Germans are in a pretty sticky spot because 2 T-45s more or less beats 2 Panzer IVs and, you know, working together. They're going to need more anti-tank weapons and they're going to need Sturmgeschütz. It's only by the might of the Sturmgeschütz I think they're going to be able to weather this red storm that Thoton and Feinter has managed to brew together there. Maybe a lot of Panzerschrecks. Panzer IV needs to fall back, but CPU-Easy, for example, does not have a light to make a nice company up there. Might be trying to take them into the Telemans, which is not a bad idea. I mean, if we can get off down enough of them, that's going to be great. Glendies rushing in there. I mean, right here, though, Feinter might go a bit too greedy, and that's going to be, I think, the Germans' best chance to ensure that the rations don't get ahead of them. And there you go. Got Panzer IV as well, meaning any sort of slight edge they got, he just went out. Stug around there for CPU-Easy, T-45 falling back. Need to get that Panzer IV out. There's Havok. Schnell, schnell. Heavy fire in the centre. We got light artillery barrage inbound here from CPU-Easy on the ration machine gun position. This is Otto. This is Otto. I need Otto. I need that maximum dead. Very dead. Jawohl, Herr Oberleutnant Otto. T-45 falling back here, Sturmgeschütz arriving, and he's going to get more than one, by the way. I mean, after the nerfs, the Stug really only works in pairs, and honestly, I still feel like you need to replace the target weak point ability with something that's, you know, useful. I mean, that one's been nerfed into the ground by far by now, and, you know, honestly, I mean, at this stage, just kept saying, you know, they should just replace it if they don't like it, because, I mean, they're just going to render it useless, which they have now, more or less. I mean, there's a few niche situations where it can be useful, but in a lot of them, it's just not good enough. Oh, wait. CPU is going to need another Stug out. He's going to need to spend some of that manpower, though. More fuel caches would be a great idea, would help him and his teammate. And Havok probably should commit to a command tank to back him and possibly his teammate up against these T-45s. Otherwise, the job should just be to try and pressure the rations into committing the T-45s they have in smaller numbers and overwhelm them with the sheer number of Stugs to strong them, because if the Russians hit critical mass of T-45s, it's going to be very difficult for the Germans to defend against it. So they're going to have to sort of like just try and, you know, cull the herd, if you will, of T-45s before they just get stampeded. So obviously he goes for the command tank. And of course, the CPU is going to need more than one Stug. He also needs to again spend some of that manpower. Bit awkward there, floating I think 800 manpower when there's clearly stuff to be spent in its foot to spend on. More caches, machine gun bunkers, Stugs once he gets more fuel. Lots of options there, really. At least the fuel control there is going to help them, ensuring the rations, you know, can't easily get too many T-45s, ensuring they can bring out more Stugs and armor if they have to. Which they have to, by the way. Comes there being murdered slowly by the Panzer IV. The Stug could add a pinlight machine for a bit of extra added infantry, which just, you know, makes it a bit better. T-5 rolling westwards. Good fluid play there for Thoton, not just sticking it to one spot, but looking for the best place to just do damage with it. There's some really good tactical sense there by Thoton. Thumbs up. Just one, though. Yeah, command squad needs to fall back. He could consider smoke grenade, but that's going to be too late. He's not paying attention, though. And the T-55, you can see there, is really good versus infantry as well. Grabbing the point there, good play by Thoton. Not a lot of players use those abilities, but clearly Thoton does. Well, the rations can actually begin going for more T-45s now. They more or less got the fuel, they just need a bit more manpower. Stug could open up the fuel cache, and there we go. Fires away there. CPU could go for another one, but he isn't. Havok spent some fuel. Howitzer. Could be useful as the support weapons, but I feel like they're neglecting one of the primary threats, which is just, you know, the oncoming hordes of T-45s they will be exposed to. And I mean, again, they got the doctrines, they got the bulletins, they are really committing everything they can to the T-45. So if they're not ready at any point, the Germans are going to get crushed, and CPU needs to spend that manpower. Jesus. 1,000 manpower like that is not good. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with CPU-Easy. He normally tends to be, I would say, a much sharper player when I play with him. But, I mean, random matches don't actually have my friends, so you know, play range matches with them. But, you know, usually I would say tends to be a bit sharper than this. I mean, floating 1,000 manpower in these conditions, I think, is not particularly healthy. Stu going for the T-35. Another one is ordered for Thoton. Fine Tails also going for one. And again, this is kind of where two Stews would be great, because that way threaten the T-35 much faster, having perhaps a chance of wiping it out there before then escapes, and that way ensuring that Russians do not hit a critical build-up of T-35s, because I think at this stage, at least from my perspective, it's pretty obvious the Russians are just going to roll them, and it's certainly a strategy I've seen become more and more common. The Russians just get a lot of T-35s, and then they roll the enemy. Because it is really effective when you can just get a lot of tanks with high health and reasonably good amount of damage. It means you can just get off one good effect, your opponent's going to have a very hard time stopping you. Because the T-35s are incredibly cost effective. I mean, they cost a bit more than a Panzer IV, but they have a lot more health and a lot of other sort of things when they perform better. Comes the strength to the MG42 there, halt it. CPU is still feeling too much manpower. I mean, again, with the fuel harassment going on, again, the fuel cache would be great, but also machine gun bunker here would be a solid choice there for CPU-Easy. Havok there going for another Panzer IV. I still would prefer Stug. And CPU-Easy is just... what is he going for? He's going for tier 4. That is definitely feel like a wrong call here by CPU-Easy. I mean, that's just going to give the Russians more time to build up, you know, that critical mass of T-35s, unless, again, he builds up a lot of fuel cache, then allowed to rush out Panthers, because otherwise they're just going to get snowballed. Machine gun wiped out. Bit of bad development there for the Germans. That is Havok's second MG42 they lost. That was his veteran machine gun, for that matter. Air support called in here. Germans looking not too hot here. Oh, they moved too fast away from the fuel point there. CPU-Easy, but of course trying to deal with these support points here. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. And there you go, forcing release the Maxim. Howitzer firing away, though I'm not entirely sure what he's hoping to destroy here. Looks like the field gun, maybe. I mean, if we get rid of that and maybe steal it for the German army, that'd be helpful. But that does not seem to be forthcoming. And these Panzer IVs moving up here. Havok there trying to cause some havoc in the Russian rear lines. Not a bad idea, though. Should be mindful of mines. And of course, getting hammered by T-35s. Chances of getting a T-35 out of commission would be pretty solid for the Germans. Of course, it would be much easier if CPU-Easy if he had another Stuttgart and spend some of that manpower and other stuff. Jesus, CPU-Easy. Spend it. Panzer Grenadiers, Pack 40. Alright, he's built the light make so he's getting a lot of stuff now. Good, but you still need a Stug more. Yeah, I really cannot stress enough how important it is to have Stugs working in pairs. It was important before the nerf, but it's absolutely critical now, to be honest. Because it's the only way you're going to get some, you know, the full effect of just, you know, Stugs hammering over the high rate of fire to quickly disable any targets. So I definitely feel like this is a rather gross oversight for CPU. This is not floating 1,000 manpower anymore. I mean, you know, don't accept that as a small blessing. The Germans are successful pushing back the Russians, but of course the issue remains, there's more T-35s where they came from. I mean, Thoton's soon going to have 3 of them. Feinter's going to have 2 of them, meaning a total of 5 T-35s. That's going to be very difficult for the Germans to stop with what they got at the moment, because the T-35s, again, are durable and they have a good rate of fire. And they can lay down a lot of firepower on top of that. Got one Pack 40 there. Feinter's, CPU's got another one. Maybe Panzerschreck's going to have a bit. Maybe. T-5's moving up, then you can cover the Panzer IV and everything else. More Telemans would be a great idea to someone slow up. If they can sort of, you know, bait them into it, that could work out for the Germans. There you go. One T-5 almost down here. Thoton might make some mistakes. There you go. Pop goes the Weasel. Nice flank here by CPU Stug. Very nice flank. None of these need to be careful with the T-5 moving up. I mean, if they can sort of keep, you know, punishing the Russians for extending the tanks like that, they might stand a chance. As long as they obviously, you know, build up enough veterans in themselves in the process. Big push here for Thoton Infantry. Well, most Maxims actually backed up by moving across the western fields. Other T-45 continue to further extend to the west. This is kind of where again things get dicey for CPU-Easy with only one Stug. Shoots the T-45, lands a nice hit. You know what, that's somewhere. T-45 comes to flank up. Other ones attack head on. Of course, this is where things get nasty because the Stug gets swarmed. There's only one of it. Pack 40's coming out the flank, but it's not going to be enough. We got air support console to further disrupt the German defences, and here we sort of see the issue right now with how they sort of operate. They just lack the firepower to sort of stop this kind of assault. Like, there's just no way they can stop the T-35 because they can soak up so much damage and they can deliver so much damage. Toss in the air support, and well, as you might have noticed, the Germans do not stand much of a chance here. I mean, Havok's maybe got one Panther can sort of safely-ish commit, and even that risk just getting destroyed. So there you go, strong push here by Thoton and Fire and Turn. Absolute sick hammer and sickle blow there to CPU-Easy. And this is where more Stugs would have been very helpful. T-45 moving up here, trying to take out the Panther 4. Field gun backing it up. Field how to finally got the heavy Panther got for CPU-Easy, but it feels pretty late. It feels very late, in fact. And that Panther, whenever he gets it, is going to be much later and very much going to risk being outmaneuvered by even more T-45s. Panther 4 down, and that was unfortunately Havok's most armoured Panther 4. Sadly, now went for a command tank, which again would have been reasonably helpful against this in some ways. And he's not so much damage-wise, but just absorbing damage. He's about to lose another Panther 4 here. Without getting the T-45, which is going to be horrific for the Germans. As there's going to be amazing trade-offs there for the Russians then. I mean, they lost one T-45 and they destroyed two Panther 4s and a Sturmgeschütz. And that T-45 was just lost because, you know, he waltzed in like a bit like a putz. So, I mean, overall pretty solid stuff there. Getting command scores the conscripts. Actually, on the pack from the T-45 on the pack 4, we got the strafe down here. Quick attack strafe there. The pack are almost taken out. Most of the shots either miss or fail to penetrate the T-35's armour. Pretty lucky there for Thoton. T-45 taking some damage, but it is not out of the war yet. Far from it. Stugs on the way for Havok. Great. That should help more out. And CPU-Easy, I think, is just stalling for a Panther. I mean, of course, the issue at this stage is going to be one Panther versus, you know, 5, maybe 6 T-45s. That's going to be a lot of tanks. And while the Panther, of course, will have roughly the same amount of health and more armor, it's still going to be heavily outgunned. More importantly, it doesn't have a massively better DPS than the T-45s in that sense. In this regard, for example, Havok now has one Stug to stop the T-45 with using CPUs with 2 pack 40s. Maybe a Panther once he gets to do some damage there. So the situation is looking rather horrid. Quick retreat in the face of heavily armed Frontovics. Stug falling back, adding spotting scopes, fuel cache out there for Havok. Nice work. Rather late. Again, I think if the Germans had maybe gone for some more fuel cache, and again, when CPUs were loading that much manpower, it might have been a slightly better spot alongside, you know, maybe the more Stugs. Trying to be important for Maximus under command of the Germans. T-45 coming up here, overwhelming the Grenadiers, who stand no chance against 2 T-45s. They just do not have the firepower. And there you go. 3 T-45s for each player, giving a total of 6 T-45s. That is a lot of health and a lot of firepower concentrated into, you know, 6 tanks. It's going to be very difficult for the Germans to stop that. Since again, these can soak up a lot of damage. So of course, it does help the Phantom might be playing a bit more awkwardly. But even then, it seems like they're going to have a good chance of escaping here from CPU's tank defenses. He's closing in on the Panther though. There's still some way to go there for CPUs. There's still some ways to go. Thoton moving up in the eastern side of the T-45, including an ace T-45. Stuk here left to hold the line for Havok. And again, that's one Stuk against 3 T-45s. They actually packed it right on the teller, man. Holy smokes. That did not go off. That was incredibly lucky there for Havok. On the other hand, there's no way luck can save him for what comes next, because that's just one Stuk against 2 T-45s, including an ace-1. Like, it just was not enough to hold that. Tellermine goes off. But CPU's has lost one anti-tank. He's got one left. He's going for the Panther now, but the Russians are just rolling through it all. The ace here is just tearing fascists apart. Completely just routing them. Look at this, Dimitri. They can't stop us. Yeah, we're invincible. You're a loony. Almost got the house there. More T-4s advancing. Panther almost done. Pack 40 away there for Havok. And at this stage, the Germans are just being buried beneath I don't know how many tons of Soviet steel and vodka. Heavy pants got for Havok, but at this stage, that's just too late. I mean, the Russians are pretty much just at the, doorstep, bashing in the door. Crew there for the pack being crushed by the T-45. Panthers on the scene, though. And again, maybe if they rush there instead of that Panther 4 for CPUs, they might have a chance. Like, they're sort of build up enough Panthers to fight this earlier on. Who knows? But, this late of Panther, without enough, everything else to back it up with, I think it's not going to be enough. But there you go, pushing back the T-45s there. It's going to be reasonably, I think, easy for the Panther here, as long as they don't somehow get flanked and get super lucky. But there you go, T-45 to the rescue, flanking the Panther. That's bad news here for CPU-Easy. He has to deal with that threat. They also look running out victory points. We got the Howitzer crewed by the Russians, flying straight into the German base, causing untold carnage. Absolute madness. Nice hit then T-45 by the Panther. Panther fizzed off. Abandoned, but damaging the Panther. On the other hand, the Germans have been absolutely brutalized during that engagement. Havok's barely got anything left. CPU-Easy has a bit of this and that, but there's air support being called in here, and most of his forces are not going to be combat ready for some time. Meanwhile, Thoton lost one T-45. Fine, so didn't lose a single one. There you go. Havok and CPU renders a stinging blow to the German army. A glorious victory for the Red Army, certainly highlighting that a lot of T-45s can get the job done. Of course, there were certainly mitigating circumstances here. Like the Germans, I feel like, had a weaker strategy. CPU flowed too much. And I feel like, despite the Russians rather giving away the strategy, the Germans did not quite seem to catch on. I think made some moves that did not help them. Again, CPU should have gone for 2 Stuks again. I would always say, if you get 1 Stuk, get another one. They tend not to work anymore too well 1, but 2 is actually really good. I think had CPU done that, maybe have also gone for 2 Stuks, they would have stood a much better chance against all these T-45s. They also kept the numbers under control, ensuring we did not hit the situation again. They had more or less 6 T-45s, which again is a lot of tank. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. And this is Imperial Ancient. Cheers. Thank you for watching. And of course, remember when you do subscribe to press the little bell as well. Otherwise, YouTube's going to be less than keen on keeping you notified. This is Imperial though, saying cheers and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.